no one knows. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown.
I always feel lost when my intro is just about done. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to check my sound, this and that. Hey Sonny, how's it going today?
Oh, one sec.
Were you talking just now?
No, but I did have another your thing open accidentally. Guilty.
Yeah, I do that all the time too. And it doesn't kick in for a few minutes, and then sometimes I have
Yeah.
to be like, wait, shh.
I know.
Listen,
That's
did you hear that? So anyways, hi everybody. Thanks everybody for being here and Sunny's stream. And I see you're also streaming to Facebook. That is disconcerting. I've never in my life done that, but
no.
good.
Well, just
good.
to yeah, I don't put it like say live. It plays it, But I always do Twitter, typically. But yours I can only do two. So just a crime and shame, Facebook, and then of course the YouTube channel. Yeah.
Okay. I changed the ticker that's scrolling across the bottom. It's got Sunny's email address on there too, and everybody that's watching from Sunny's, it's got my email address on there as well. I don't know about you, but this week I have been so friggin' tired. It was like lifting a boulder just to get my butt into this chair today to do this live stream,
Same, actually. I was tired as crap yesterday. Me and my husband did a few things. And yeah, just even today, I was like, okay, no. Now, I do want to say that someone wanted me to play or show a bunch of clips this weekend, and it was more work than I ever thought. So that's just going to have to wait till next week. So apologies for that request. Just didn't happen.
Yeah, so I feel like we're both we both have very strong personalities, and I'm not so much, but you're very used to being on YouTube and stuff. So what I'm gonna do here, because Sunny she was tired, so I created the live stream, but I'm gonna give it to Sunny to lead this one, because to be perfectly honest with everybody, I had Brandon on my radar back in, I think, like July, okay? And I didn't know a thing about the guy. I didn't see the pictures. I didn't see any of that stuff, but I heard about it. And other than that, jump to the Please Bring Me Home search, and I did that opinion live stream on the call-in that Chrissy did on the DT show. And we all know how that turned out for Charmaine and for Daleen and Chrissy. It started quite the shitstorm. Kind of, in my opinion, gave birth to the channel Monsters of Sabotage, because it pissed them off so badly. That's just my opinion on it. I could be wrong, but it is what it is. But they're very supportive of Brandon. And yes, I have seen the statements and I've read the screenshots and this and that, but I think Sunny has been digging in a little bit harder than me. So I'm going to hand it to Sunny. I do have the video that we discussed, but other than that, Sunny, take it away.
Well, I was going to say, I remember Brandon's name back a long time ago. I don't really pay hardly any attention to Facebook shit, to be honest with you. Besides when we were in that group, that private group. But other than that, I really just don't pay attention to that stuff. And so it's like I remember the name, but I didn't remember much about it. And then that post came out, um, and that was it, Monsters of Chaos, right? Or Sabotage? Which one posted it? Monsters of Chaos, I think.
Yes, it
I
was
think it
Monsters of
was.
Chaos. You bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then I was like, wait, what? And, you know, it threw a curveball when I was reading that. Like, just when I thought that this case already hit new levels of bunch of BS and shit like that, um, then all of a sudden that post comes out, and I was just like, whoa, like the way that this basically reads is that it implicates both families, perhaps, of, planning this whole entire, event of Jack and Lily. And it just seems in my head so outrageous. But I just feel like with anything, you either want to give it credit or you want to discredit the information. And so then you try to dig for the answers, of what seems credible, and try to verify it. I did ask Haley, I did show her the post, that we saw on Monsters of Chaos. And she basically said, yeah, just more freaking BS, basically. Um, I did ask her today if she remembered if Emily was wearing a halter, a top, with, spaghetti strings or whatever. And she said, honestly, she goes, I don't remember. She goes, we were there for, basically the purpose of looking for Jack and Lily. And I get it too, because we're talking over a year now. Like maybe if that would have been right away, so it's kind of like not really getting the verification that you're kind of hoping for, or just something. But when you had sent me those things the other day, like the posts that people were putting out of what Brandon had said, I mean, it's contradictory to his information now. And so it's it's like you want to look at both sides. Just like I said, either credit, give it credit where it's due, or take away it if it's not truthful. It seems very unrealistic, just thinking about it all. But then again, like, so I know that we're going to talk about like what makes sense and what doesn't make sense, in regards to Brandon. Um, and
So,
yeah, like,
like, where do you want to start? Like, because we can, the post that was on Facebook that I forwarded to you, I think there was two of them. Those screenshots were from, if I'm not mistaken, back in like early days, right?
October, I think, or something.
Yeah. So we're looking at like from the very beginning of when he was talking to this, I believe, Brad Turner, which is also mentioned in the Monsters of Sabotage video today. So, like, what do you think is best, to read those first or to watch
I
the
think
Monsters of
so.
Sabotage?
I think it's best to go from the start to the latest of, for it. Now, I know that you sent me those links, so I'm not sure if you just want to yourself pull up those links, that from those two posts. I was going to say something and I forget.
Yeah, just give me a second. I just got to go back and find it.
Yeah, I mean, I can easily send those back to you if you want. Or did it go away? Do 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 do. Your freaking rabbit hole song. I love it. It sticks in my head. I literally sing that song many times.
It's Teresa, though. Every time I hear it, I think of criminality. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I did find it here. So,
Did you?
oops, I got to take this down. Put this up. Well, that looks very small, does it not?
No, I mean, it will come off looking better. I mean, there. Oh,
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, so like I'll read this and I'll play the voice note that's in it, and then we'll talk about it, I guess. Edited to add a voice note of him saying there were two shirts. Why is Brandon Lemieux changing his story? This is not the same story at all. In his long ass post, he says who the people were. In the DMs, he says numerous times he can only ID one girl who he was speaking to. And again, I will say right now because I'll forget. So early on, he may not have been able to identify the person or the people until he started working with Chrissy, which I think we'll get to in the Monsters of Sabotage. So I just wanted to say that because I'll probably forget to say it after. He can only ID one girl who he was speaking to. He says that she was tan or native, and there were two shirts in the tree. Why such a different story? Emily is white as can be, and clearly a white person has fair blue eyes, I think, unless I'm mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe her eyes are photoshopped. Her skin is very pale. He clearly says twice he can only ID the girl. In his voice message, he also says the girl was in her late 20s, mid 30s. Emily is only 19. Car was brown. Now it's wine or burgundy. He also says in his long ass post that they ran out of the woods all dramatically. He says nothing of the sort in DMs. They were sitting in a car. Now all of a sudden people be running around like turkeys. Nice. Anyways, so the blue is this Brad Turner, I believe, and the, I guess, gray or whatever is Brandon. So I'm just going to concentrate on Brandon. 100% no blanket in the tree, and the two shirts were hanging in tree. So these exact items were found exactly 1 kilometer away from their house, Lansdowne Station Road. 1 sec, I'm going to edit the video a tad and send you... okay. Girl was skinnier, definitely not fat or chubby. The rest didn't talk and were in the vehicle. She was too, but passenger side window. I can't ID the ones in the vehicle with the girl who spoke to me. Like I said, probably took photo lineups and, going through info with Chrissy. I get that. I was focused on her. I definitely could ID her. And the man in the Honda Civic, the big guy, I could ID him. I can still see his face. It was like a 4-door sedan, dark color for sure, maybe brown. Now he's saying wine, which, I mean, details, right?
It's all about the details.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just remember the ones who spoke to me was pretty, had shoulder length or longer, maybe dark brown hair, and she was tan or native. And then this is the voice clip, but you're probably going to have to play it because my sound is so fucked up all the time. Do you have it?
No.
Like I can try, but it's going to be...
It's not even
bad.
4 minutes. So
Okay,
it's
just
like
a
a
minute.
little bit of it.
Something, but there definitely was a pink girl shirt. Anyways, day one road that just goes up past the tracks to the right of the black house. That's where the shirt, the pink shirt, and I think there was another piece of clothing. I just can't remember the color of it. I don't know if it was purple or blue, but I'm pretty sure it was a boy's shirt or something. But there definitely was a pink girl shirt. Anyways, day one road that just goes up past the tracks to the right of the black house.
So I just
That's
like to
where
say that...
the shirt,
all right,
the pink shirt,
enough.
and
I'd like to say that he doesn't say here that there were two shirts. He knows for sure there was a pink shirt. It's very confusing. What do you think? And
Well, I mean, I'm thinking. Sorry, I'm hearing myself through your computer. Did you mute
go
yourself?
ahead. That should fix it.
I'm thinking a few different things. Whoops. I'm thinking that 100% that there was no blanket there, he says. That there was two shirts. That's not what he says in his later statement about it. And he says that it's a native girl. And then it's supposedly, I think, a Jenna Jowdry. And then they go back to looking at more photos, and then it's Emily. Um, I just, it just seems like it doesn't really match what, so like, especially online and in Facebook groups, you better get your shit right or you're going to get picked apart to shit. Because it is all about the details. And then you say brown color, and then you're saying wine color, and it's like, again, if you tell them the truth, then the truth should be fluid in a sense. But then why would somebody with no skin in the game come forward with this information? Is it because they're legit, or is it because they have, you know, they know somebody within the family? I'm very conflicted with this all, but um, this will be the bottom line for me with regards to this all, no matter what. Whether there's truth to what Brandon is saying or whether there's not truth, the bottom line is that I personally believe that the people on the property, of course, the stepfather and the mother, absolutely, to me, know what happened. Now, and whether Janie knows or other family members were part of this big elaborate scheme, I still have no idea why. Besides, I can't imagine through all these details that somebody hasn't been arrested by now, if all these people knew, planted this and all that stuff. But I just think regardless of it all, that whether it's the people on the property that eventually perhaps get arrested, to me, I still think it's family involvement regardless. So whether there's more implicated throughout this case, then so be it. It's still, to me, family involvement.
So does it make any difference whatsoever? I can try to look for it and pull it up, but Danielle did send me a screenshot a while ago from May the 3rd of this Brandon Lemieux sending him a message saying, "Where did you put those kids?" Right? So to talk about skin in the game and he didn't know the family, like, was it just like you and I sitting over here on the West Coast saying, well, that's suspicious, it's usually family involvement, so we go and rip into the parents, but this person is, do you know what I'm saying? Like, to say no skin in the game, like, is it? Like, did he know them or didn't he? For him
Correct.
to go directly to Daniel that day,
So you're saying that he went to Daniel, sent Daniel a message, basically saying to him, like, where'd you put the kids?
Yeah, you bet. I can. Sorry, Daniel, but I'll pull it up right now. Just give me a minute.
I see Brad's in the house. Hey,
I
Brad,
have to
sorry.
find it. Go ahead and talk. I have to find it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Honestly, it's kind of doing my head in a bit, but it's not by the same token, because I still feel like the final outcome will come right back to the property. Just based on what's typical, normal with these type of cases. Well, no, this one's to the extreme though. This one's to the rarity, even more rarity than one child, and it really boils down to everything that's happened and what the ratio of the possibility is and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I still want to always, if something gets posted that has maybe some credibility or not, you still want to, like, stuff like this is what I would deem something I would like to look into. And then you try to verify it, so if Haley would have been able to say to me, yeah, Emily was wearing this, I remember she was wearing a t-shirt, she wasn't wearing a halter, that would make a huge difference, right? But also with this, Charmaine, and I was talking to Kent just privately before the live there a little bit, just asking him, and he said, so the helicopters that were around, okay, I want to state this first. So yes, I know exactly where this Brandon person lives, and he is out of Westville, and it would take him approximately, he said, 12 to 14 minutes Google Maps absolutely says 15 minutes, but everyone usually drives a little heavier on there. And then so I had it basically going to the Garlock Lake. And that's where he's basically claiming that he heard it. Kent said that chances are, because the 10:01 phone call to 911 was like 9 minutes 45 seconds, so chances are it would have went out on the like the search and rescue scanner radio there or whatever. That the helicopter came from Eden Lake, because that was of the what it was, a kayaker or whatever that they were searching for, and sadly ended up finding. And so that the helicopter probably, he said, would have taken about 15 minutes. Now, Brandon says he left his home at 10:10. So, okay, he gets there 10:25, then goes out, so that could make sense that he saw a helicopter, and definitely heard it. Not on the vulnerable report, like he said. But the thing is that bugs me, because he said that, because this person's supposed to be, some sort of Canadian veteran, and served, and sounds like he's bright and wise and da 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 da. So, but how would you mix up the vulnerable report that wouldn't have come out till like later? But yet I can understand if he heard it on the scanner radio at the time. But anyways, the helicopter could make sense, because the first one came over, Kent said, which would from Eden Lake. So that's plausible. But then it just seems so ridiculous to think that Alvin, is on the road, and Haley, or sorry, not Haley, Emily and Hayden are out there, freaking planting for what? Like, what's the end goal of all this?
So is it possible? Okay, so is it possible? And I'm just spitballing, absolutely no proof of this, and I'm right now playing devil's advocate. Is it possible that Brandon drove up on whatever he drove up on, but that Alvin did the exact same thing? And,
Absolutely.
Emily and Hayden and whatnot was doing whatever people are thinking they were doing. And Alvin was just a bystander saying, kind of, what are you guys doing here? And that's what Brandon drove up on. That would make more sense to me than saying both sides of the family, like they're all in collusion and nobody is leaking anything. Nobody is messing up. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, and that's just it. But still, right? And that's, I've thought of that, and I'm sure many of you guys have as well. Like, was Alvin just, happened upon them, because he would have obviously known the children were missing at this point, right? It's family. It would have went right out to the family right away about the missing children. Obviously, Ron, he wanted to take his mama shopping first during all this and stuff like that. But I'm sure all the Mackenzies and that were well aware by this point. And yeah, that could be. But then that would almost put it to the fact that Malaya's family tried to do something to create this massive, elaborated plot to do what with Jack and Lily, and for what reason. It just doesn't make sense. But there's so much that doesn't make sense in this case. It's already ridiculous.
Very true. So here's the screenshot. My bad. It was May the 5th. Where are those babies at, bud? Obviously, Daniel just didn't hit the accept button. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I noticed here that Colleen gave you a $2 super chat or super sticker. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And JJ, thank you so much. Few things that I wanted to touch on. Hello, Damien. I know sharing evidence with the general public creates a situation that a defense attorney can prepare and punch holes through it. And that is exactly why I kind of lost my shit, because it sounded all like credible evidence, but then people were on YouTube channels giving away this information and going down further to another comment that Damien or Drone Grid said. Somebody was accused of doxing Brandon Lemieux back, I believe, in November. And if I'm not mistaken, that could very well have been me when I did that opinion live stream, and it wasn't doxing because his name was very much in YouTube chats that people had screenshots of and were sharing everywhere. That's the only reason I knew. So that's not doxing, in my opinion. Agreed. And the reason Brandon spoke up was because Dan on Sunny's show talking shit about him, then Shenanigans couldn't get his name out of her mouth. He spoke to defend himself. Ninchi doxed him. I thought it was me.
Reason Brad spoke up. What was that? Sorry. What? That Daniel was talking shit about him? I don't remember. If that was during the 9-hour live, fuck me if I remember that.
Yeah, and like Daniel does have strong opinions about Brandon Lemieux that are based on rumors that everybody local has heard. I was digging, trying to get some kind of receipts for the rumors that people are going on. I was not able to do it, and so those rumors for me are being put off to the what the fuck ever pile, you know. So going forward, just put that out there. And then Ori says, any evidence should go through law enforcement and then they decide what to release. Releasing potential evidence to the public could foil an investigation and a successful prosecution. You want to talk about throwing reasonable doubt out there? For a defense attorney, they will throw anything at the wall just to see what sticks. And if you don't believe me, ask Sunny or ask anybody that followed the Delphi case. Like, honestly, you have to keep evidence low key. You shouldn't be discussing it on YouTube or Facebook. Don't you think if both sides were involved that no one would pass a poly?
That's what I say.
Yeah. What do you have to say about that?
Oh, that's exactly it. I can't fathom that all of this happened, this big conspiracy between the two families, plus that Cindy, we don't know of the latest polygraphs. People can say that they passed, but we don't know. Whereas in the documents, it clearly stated who passed and then who was truthful towards questions. So I can't see that Cindy, Wade, and all that passed, and that this was some part of a big elaborate plan for Malay and Daniel, say, to use their family to cover up this redonkulous story of why. Like, that's just the bottom line. It goes to why would Malaya, or Daniel need to have this elaborate cover up for just passing kids over to Cindy or a relative of Haley to, of course, Belinda. It just seems so ridiculous that was the case here. It's mind blowing. And if it sounds that far fetched, then we go back to Occam's razor, which is
right,
basically the shortest answer to the truth, which is usually it. And that's what the police use. We don't know what they have, but we know that they have a lot more than us.
Right, but 13 months, Sunny. 13 months, and we're perfectly comfortable going out on day 6 and saying we have no evidence of an abduction. But now 13 months later, they cannot come out and say they have no evidence of anything else. Like, it bothers me, like, a lot, just because of all of the bullshit that's going on, because of some of the information. And I can't sit here and call it false information because I don't know. But wouldn't it be nice to know if some of the crazy shit they have no evidence of it? I mean, if there's one thing that they shouldn't come out and say they have no evidence of is an abduction. The rest of this shit, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? That's what you're willing to debunk on day 6? And the rest of it is just like, well, fuck it. Yeah. As long as you guys are looking over here, we can do what we're doing over there. You know what I mean? I don't like it. I don't like it.
There's a few things there because with Brandon, right? I mean, are you going to go to his next post there? Or do you still have others to show the posts that he put up on Monsters of Chaos? Is that the next thing you're going to put up?
I could.
Well,
I'm pretty sure I said I'm giving it over to Sunny. I'm pretty sure I
Oh,
said
yeah.
that.
Do you want
Do
me
you
to put
have
that up?
it? I
Actually,
have to
well,
go.
you just had it up, I think, but I do have it.
The
Uh,
what I had the one that was Stephanie Miller had included it in her post, and it was kind of blurry for
oh,
me.
okay.
So if you have the original,
Let's just see here. Image file. If there was one thing I was doing yesterday until my computer decided it didn't like one of my things and wasn't rebooting up, it was, I guess it ended up being my mouse pad. So I was working along so great at trying to organize my C drive and put file folders for everything. And then when I looked at how much I still had left to do, I was like, well, this is going to take a freaking week on there. But let's see here. So where did I stick it now? Let's see here. That one? No, I
I
must
could
have.
pull up the channel, like the Monsters
Yeah,
of
no, I
Chaos.
know I have. What's it called? Oh wait, I think I have. Do I have a Brandon Lemieux file? I think I do. See, I can't remember my own crap that I created yesterday. Brandon. Oh, there it is. Posts. Okay, here it is. Did I share? Oops, 1 second. I think you have to remove yours. Yeah, there we go. On there. So with this one, hi Belinda. You know, and Brad's in the house. I saw, and hey everyone. It's nice to do a live with Charmaine again. It's been a minute. Um, but it says I'm Brandon, and this will be the only time I address this since the statement is. Then she has her thing over there. NENMCU, whatever. To be very clear, I saw Emily Ogle. Okay, so is Emily Ogle native? You know, so Claire, like, but that wasn't Emily's not native.
I
So,
don't think so. I
right.
don't.
So, how do you go from Jenna Jodry and then all of a sudden and saying that you saw this pretty native girl and then it ends up being Emily Ogle? Run out of the woods. So, like, meaning I don't talk to Brandon at all. So I don't know, right? I'm just going by what I'm reading. Um, and so let's see, run out of the woods on Lansdowne Road at around 10:40. She jumped into a wine colored, which was brown. I don't know how you can mix up brown to wine. I mean, it's quite two different colors, you know, especially if you saw it that day. Um, Anyways, I pulled up both parked vehicles and a large man, Elvin Mackenzie, was standing near the middle of the road, acting nervous, looking back towards the woods. And then at me, he waved me down, so I stopped. He asked if I was the police. I said no. He then said she found a pink shirt. I got out and walked. Now, again, isn't there a blue shirt there hanging there too? Isn't it pink and blue? You know, how is it just a pink? So, okay, so he goes over and sees. But then he says that after that, he didn't say another word and walked back toward Montreal Road. But I thought he was in a vehicle. Like Montreal Road isn't that quite a little bit of a distance there? When I was looking
It's
on
not
the,
too far. It's not too far, but it's
yeah,
not. It's not quick walking distance.
but I thought there was like, yeah, two vehicles. Um,
There was, wasn't there?
yeah.
Does this say? Okay. See,
Um,
we are so confused.
Mm. While I was dealing with him, the other vehicle slowly pulled away. After I left, they were parked at the end of Lansdowne Road again and again, asked if I was police. I said no. So obviously, Lansdowne Station Road. Oh, no, that's Lansdowne Road. Sorry, at the end of Lansdowne Road. And asked if I was the police. I said no. There I was helping search for the children. I asked who they were, and a woman said that they were from a family from Truro, which, you know, we know that Truro is really where most of them are from. Um, Looking for the kids as well. There was a young, skinny man in the front passenger seat, Hayden. Again, right? Um, that would mean he was After looking at pictures, he picked Hayden out, I suppose. And then the driver was a larger tan man. Don't know who that is. Um, whose face I could not clearly see because he had his hand up against it, seemingly trying not to be seen. Around 10:45 to 10:50, they turned right onto Stewiacke Road and left. If you were a family from Truro searching for the children, why leave? Why were you there so early before police even on Lansdowne Road, so close to Wade? This is supposed to be Wade Mackenzie's property, I'm assuming.
Wayne,
Yeah.
not
Wade.
Wade. I
There
assume
is
so.
no Wade Martell that I know of. So why were you
No,
in no. So it's why are there no photos of this available publicly? I don't get that question. Make me understand that question. Because obviously we showed you the other night on the live the picture of the shirt. Why only the picture of the pink shirt? Why not the picture of the pink and blue shirt? Right? If they're hanging in a tree, you would clearly have pictures of all of this. So I just don't get that only a pink picture is shown, but yet he's and whatever is saying that there is a pink and a blue shirt hanging in the tree. Like you would be if you're going there to search for children and you see this what you deem as weird shit going on, you're gonna be freaking snapping photos, and maybe he did, but I don't understand his thing about why are there no photos of this available publicly. It doesn't make sense because why would someone put that publicly unless it was the random person that came across it and did it, you know? I don't get that one. Do you? I
of
don't get
course
that
not.
statement.
Of course not. But this, like, for photos confirmed to be Hayden right away either. So how would
Right.
he know to look up who he is? I don't think he did, Cindy B. I think that all of that identification happened after Chrissy Travers had connected with him. So this is what I'm saying, and this is why it makes it so hard for me, okay? Because we've got this current statement. This is based on what Brandon says he remembers now, today. Like almost, and I think this was even after the 1 year, so 13 months later. The beginning stuff that we read at first, that was from months ago and before September, I believe, before he had that contact with Chrissy Travers. So it's no different than anybody else. This is what, if it's a crime and you're a witness and you're questioned and you're going to be given photo lineups and stuff to try to identify people or identify places, a year makes a huge difference. But it also makes a huge difference. Sometimes your memories can get convoluted, can get mixed up with stories that you've heard or, different days that you were out searching. Things can get confused unless you're a meticulous note taker, which is why I think that it would be important at this juncture to hear from Brandon directly. Like, just in my opinion. And I'm not saying for me to do it or for Sunny to do it. Monsters of Sabotage has their channel that seems to be, connected in some way, shape, or form. That's all I'm going to say to Chrissy Travers. And if that's the case, then that channel could probably do an in-depth interview and figure all of these questions that everybody has out. And then I'll let you get to Belinda's, and then I need to address this one. So you go ahead with Belinda's.
Oh, sorry. I know she just said he told me about 4 people and later was shown pictures of many people in that area. He picked out who he saw. Well, he picked out Jenna Chowdhury though, right? Because that's who he claimed at first. But again, I mean, it's a native girl, he says. So it's just about really, again, about credibility, about why would somebody make an elaborate, thing. Actually, I don't even understand, truthfully, why he came out and said anything at all. Meaning, who cares if Daniel was on the live saying shit about him or whatever, right? If this information is very vital and stuff like that, I would have just shut up. So now,
Yeah.
now that it's out there, you might as well just whip your face out or whip a avatar out and come talk on somebody's channel there and just, just say it from your own mouth properly.
Yeah, it makes all the
Sorry.
difference. Really quick, Damien, attacking anyone for asking important questions is very questionable. I couldn't agree more. It's my passive aggressive. I'll stuff that back away. This is interesting. I'll address what I've been pussyfooting around. Why are people claiming stolen valor? Can we at least confirm when he served? Why is everything so hard to verify? Put it to rest. I didn't know anybody was questioning that. Birdie. Have you heard anybody questioning his military service? I haven't. If they have, that's odd.
I would honestly have to care enough, to be honest, and I just don't. Because again, it really boils down to the RCMP bringing us answers, and this is just filler in between time. That's how I see it.
You show up because 2 kids are missing, and you pull up to someone waving you down only to see a man trying to hide himself. Pretty fucking suspicious. Why not report that immediately? Didn't he? He went and he talked to law enforcement. He left to go home to get more equipment. So who says he didn't mention it, Marie? This is why it's important for Brandon to speak using his own voice. My opinion only.
This reminds me of Daniel. When Daniel was popping around rooms, jumping in and out, and he never clarified, because it's easy to take things out of context or whenever somebody says something different. And that's exactly what happened to Daniel, right? And he just wouldn't come up. And then I just got tired of his games of that, because again, if you're going to claim stuff and stuff like that, then use a voice then, right? Don't hide behind kind of like posts and stuff like that. So if you're going to come out, you might as well come out properly then. Don't have to show your face, even though people obviously can see your face, but it's one of those things. But that's what this reminds me of a bit is that wording and the differences that he said and stuff, and that's what deemed Daniel as not credible listening to him, because it was just the inconsistencies and what made sense and what didn't. So I don't know Adam with this guy, but.
Did you read this one from Belinda?
Yeah, that's when I had up. About 4 people. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to do this. Should we do this video now, or?
I mean, sure. Just don't forget to mute it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Daleen, let's wait until after a trial to publicly interview Brandon. But what's the difference?
Why?
He's putting his information out there in by way of Facebook posts or comments on YouTube, or having yourself or Chrissy clarify his statement. So what's the difference? Plausible deniability? I'm
not into this third party information too much. I don't want to hear from Cheryl, just like I don't want to hear, in a sense, from Daleen speaking for Brandon. Let Brandon speak for himself. If he's going to put the information out there, then do what Daniel did and finally join up on lives or something, at least to clarify, or do a video or something like that. He doesn't have to, obviously, but don't expect there not to be scrutiny and people questioning everything with this case. But why, after the trial? Why didn't he just not say anything at all? He brought himself to the public by doing this post. So
yeah, and another good point. He wrote emails to AB and allowed him to read them on his channel. He obviously wants his story out there. He wants it clarified. So it's no different to me than Daniel, who was in these chat rooms and leaving comments and stuff, and we were ripping him apart every which way but loose. And then he started speaking out on my channel and Sunny's channel, and some things have been clarified. Other questions have come up, but it's a little bit different, I think, with Daniel. But then look at Malaya as well. She has never, ever talked to anybody publicly. And quite honestly, I don't believe a single thing I hear because it's not coming from her directly. So that's just...
Well, Stevie Wonder's in your chat, so he can't see. He can only hear. Just saying.
Who? Stevie Wonder?
Yeah. Stevie Wonder's in the house.
He
I
did the
kind of wish
Olympics.
that Rick Astley was in the house too.
I don't know who Stevie Wonder is.
I don't know.
Well, I do, but I don't think it's that Stevie Wonder.
No, I'm just kidding.
If it is, like, good job with your typing skills, dude. Anyway, I'm not there. I'm behind in chat. Go figure.
Yeah.
So,
You know, I kind of think about Brad Wong a little bit too on this, right? I mean, he wasn't wanting, like, but mind you, Brad's name was put out there in the documents with Justin's. You know, he was coming into the channel, and coming in as a regular, uh, as if he wasn't like the neighbor, but then he would say things and I would catch on to it. And I would be like, "You're the neighbor." And then, but once his name came out, then he started speaking up more. You know, I mean, he hasn't joined a live, like, even though I've asked him many times, and he says one day maybe, you know. So it's just hard. This case is an absolute freaking pathetic, disgusting, to watch all this unfold the way it has. And honestly, it just really becomes is upon the layers and layers of thick shit is the truth. And Occam's razor will usually be the truth, for that. But it gets to a point where you don't even want to entertain, like, maybe for, like I said, filler purposes, talk about things. You know, we always like to talk about it, you know, but again, I know what mind is set on. RCMP is going to bring us answers at some point, and up until that point, you're just trying to sort out in your head. And I think this goes for everybody. You're just trying to sort out in your head the difference between what sounds reasonable, sensible, makes sense, to what doesn't. And we don't really have anything, truly, to discredit, Brandon's information, because as much as we're trying, like, as much as I would love, and I was hoping like that Haley could answer a couple questions, but right, I mean, there's nothing. So, you know, so it just is gonna lie where it lies, and either you believe it or you don't.
yeah, that's what I mean when I say you have to put it in the pile of whatever, because even if we're shown receipts and all this other stuff that we preach all the time, we have no way to corroborate any of it. We're forced to take Brandon's word for it. So it is no different than some of the other stories that we've heard. You know, if you choose to believe it, then you choose to believe it. If it doesn't work in your brain, then it doesn't work in your brain. But, you know, and Daleen, I agree. Why isn't Malaya talking? I mean, we can speculate, but don't even get me started on it.
Malaya would probably sink everyone's battleships if she started talking, to be honest.
Exactly. If anybody had anything from Malaya, I think it would shed a lot of light on a lot of things. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this video up. And we'll just go through it slide by slide. Like I said, I've got it muted just because my sound is shit anyway, and I get copyright strikes. Okay, Brandon left home around 10:10 a.m. on May 2nd. Good to know. And I'm not being rude. Is this going?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Okay. I could probably put it on faster speed after this, which he knows because his fiance was home on her work break, which runs from 10 a.m. to 10:30. I wish, just side note, I wish I could work at a place. Well, I do now, but back in the day, could you imagine being able to go home for lunch? Oh, what am I talking about? You could if you wanted to, couldn't you? Am I frozen? Are you muted?
No, I'm just waiting for you to slide along.
Oh. He said that she got there when he was loading his truck to go fishing at Gerlach Lake. They spoke briefly before he left. I just don't want to miss any slides, you know?
No.
Do we know if Gerlach Lake was thoroughly searched by search and rescue?
Well, when it comes to RCMP and that searching lakes, I don't honestly send in a real dive team, not freaking RCMP dive team. You know, not people that do it once in a while versus people that do it all the time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we know of so many cases. Like, look at what's her name? Come on, it's on the top of my tongue. Kendrick, the one where they Adventures with Purpose found her 13 feet in her vehicle, and that lake had already.
Isn't that Kylie Rodney?
Kylie Rodney, yeah.
Did you this comment on the stages for you, Sunny?
Sunny, did you see Angus' comment for Boss Man? No, I didn't. Maybe if you could retype it or re-say it. Sunny, did you see Angus' comment for Boss Man?
I think I might have seen it and then I just moved past it. So Gerlach Lake is approximately 12 to 15 minutes from Brandon's house. See, this is what I mean. That's
a good looking dude though in that clip, but I'm sure that's not. I mean,
yeah.
We already saw Brandon. I would say no offense, Brandon, to you on this one, but
this one could search me for sure. As he arrived there, he heard a vulnerable person's broadcast regarding 2 missing children in Lansdowne. So if he left around 10:10, what time did the vulnerable persons come out?
Well, that's just it. The vulnerable persons didn't come out in the time that he says it is. And so I don't know, like, kind of like what Kent said, Charmaine. Like, obviously, I can see it hitting, like the 911 call comes in 10 minutes later, it goes over to this, to send us, for the search team, because now, it's been, probably on the scanner radio or the vulnerable report. But he's the one that says that. I'm like, well, are you BSing us by using the vulnerable? Because at no place, okay, there was a post by CBC that said that it came out at 10 o'clock. Okay, so common sense says that the media gets it wrong a lot of the times as well with their timing, okay? The actual media. So when I saw that 10 o'clock time, I'm like, no way in heck did it come out at freaking 10 o'clock. But because it's showing, like, say about, and even Kent said, like, the first one, which isn't even a vulnerable, like 10:45, close to 11. So I can see why 11. So I don't understand that either, because it wouldn't have been a vulnerable person's broadcast at that time. I don't know.
Right. Thank you, Damien. But okay, so let's talk about that for just a half a second, because people do have scanner radios, and sometimes they have encrypted ones that are not legal to own. Is it illegal to own a scanner radio? And could that be why people are avoiding saying that he heard it on a police scanner? Like, I know in Alberta there are certain scanners that you are not allowed to have, but some people do.
Honestly, at that point of it, do you think that they're honestly going to care, the RCMP, whether he heard it on a scanner radio and stuff? I mean, they're going to look at the credibility of what he's saying. But it's not like they're going to be like, you know what, dude, you're arrested just for using it. So many people have scanner radios and, and stuff like that. But I don't think that that's going to be an important thing to maybe he doesn't want it. I don't admit to, I don't know. But there ain't no vulnerable report that came out at that time that he's claiming.
Right. And that's just, I mean, that doesn't mean that he didn't hear it another way.
Right.
But why are you avoiding saying how you actually heard it? Because we know it wasn't the vulnerable person's alert. Not if the timeline doesn't work. Right.
But now his helicopter time could work, right? Like that could work. So it's just one of those things. It's kind of like you look at this and you're just like, at what point like he's the one saying vulnerable, but if you know that that couldn't be true, then like at that point in time, because that would be before pretty much, like he's basically claiming that he got to Garlock Lake at like 10:25 and that he had heard it. So that's not
Right.
being no vulnerable report coming out at that point, but a helicopter, right? So he's hearing probably the fact. He's probably even hearing about the fact of the helicopter as well. So that's what I'm talking about right there. Okay. So go to any other place and you won't see 10 o'clock on any other thing, right? CBC +4. But use common sense on that. I mean, the phone call came in at 10:01. The phone call was almost 10 minutes long, right? So it's going to be past that time. So unless it was, unless it's one of those people that deem 10 o'clock as well, if it's less than 10:15, and they heard it type of thing. But but he's saying that he heard it when he got to Garlic Lake, which would place it at around 10:25. So bottom line is that I just don't, it's not the vulnerable report to me that he heard it from. And I don't know if it's just, trying to, but the thing is, people can easily look that crap up.
Right. And Sinister here, thank you. But she says that we were all listening to Scanner that morning for the kayaker, and that makes sense. So, like I said, Damien's going to get me the exact time the first vulnerable persons alert came out, but I'm pretty sure it didn't come out before 10:30. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure. I have to go bring Harley in, so I'll find the next slide and you can go ahead.
All right. So it's just stuff like that. Like I said, put it on a clip. You don't even have to go on live. Just record your words properly with somebody to clear any things that people are asking about. I personally, again, don't really care. I was like, okay, well, I got nothing better to do. I might as well kind of look at this stuff. But again, RCMP, they know what's up, but it's just a matter of proof. So that's why, like I said, do I really want to waste all these brain cells on this particular posting or this stuff? I'll use a little bit, and whether it's true or not will come to shine in light when it's time for Jack and Lily to have justice. And that's the bottom line of all this. In the scope of this all, this is about two missing children, and they get lost within the mix of all this BS and crap that's going on, I mean, I know we're discussing the case because you're trying to figure out answers about what happened to Jack and Lily, but honestly, we're only going to be assuming anything up until the truth comes out. Other than that, there's no YouTuber out there that's going to be going, I solved the case. At roughly the same time, he observed a helicopter, right, which I think could be accurate, to it. I think the blanket thing is the biggest thing that throws me off as well.
The blanket, what do you mean? Because I know that we heard that the school bus, I can't remember what time the school bus passes in the morning, but the blanket wasn't there on the school bus dash cam.
We don't know
early
that.
In the morning, right?
We don't know that. It was not in, they never redacted that. They never unredacted that information. So we don't know.
What? That it wasn't there?
Right.
Right. So the only way that I'm saying that, I guess, is because Daniel said it wasn't there.
Right. Now, Kent did say that there's a couple people that he knows that had drove by there that, work and going to work. Now, again, it really depends on what time. Like, to me, I believe that the 10:01 call was staged, to be set at that time. It could have been earlier, but I feel like, for me personally, that, there's plenty of time for motive and opportunity to place that blanket there as maybe even an afterthought, because when Kent spoke, he spoke about, say, 7:38 in the documents. Obviously, it doesn't tell us. I swear that Ninji had something in regards to the bus about that coming back to her from an answer from the RCMP. And I'm, Ninji, if you're watching, I'm pretty sure you had one. But anyways, so yeah, so besides Daniel saying it, but are we going to believe that it from Daniel of someone that was on the property? No, you know. So again, he's saying that the blanket wasn't there. But again, where's all these pictures then? I mean, why you? I just don't get it. Why is he asking publicly, but yet he posts the picture of the pink shirt? Why, like, why did you keep the blue shirt out of there though? You know, because again, if you're in a search and you think something's up, sus, you're kind of being and be like, you know, you're definitely going to be taking pictures if there's two shirts in a tree. So that's why I don't understand that one either. You know, do you
Yeah,
like?
I get it now what Ori is saying. She made a comment earlier about it's strange to go fishing in a spot where you know there's a search going on for missing people. And it didn't clue in because obviously we didn't know that Jack and Lily were missing right then and there. But good point, missing kayakers. I mean, that would have also been on any scanner radio that he may or may not have heard. Like, is it a case of maybe he's got his time wrong? Is it that simple? Just the wrong time of day? But, I mean, his fiance was home for lunch, so, like, I just don't know. I just don't know.
I know, you know, I mean, because like, Haley's told me before, and I remember listening to this audio again. So she said that she arrived at around 2:30. She said that her mom, and I think Wade, arrived before she did. Not, she said not too long, but sometime before they did. And she said that Hayden and Patty arrived basically the same time she did. And I'm just, like I said, does that mean that that was, you know, engraved in stone? No, it was just the best estimated time that she gave. Again, it's like you're just trying to understand, well, okay, so is Brandon correct that these people just went back off home and decided, you know, come back later? And it just all seems way too much, to be honest.
So then this one here, I mean, it raises more questions for me, and it's all about when he heard the alert and how he heard it, because given his military background, it was immediately apparent to him that an active search operation was underway. So again, here's another question. Could it be that he was simply going fishing on Gerlach Lake, because that's just what he did, and he didn't hear anything broadcast at all, and he just happened to be going fishing that day in that area, and when he arrived he noticed all of the activity and realized something was up? I mean, is it that simple?
I don't think so. I don't think
you don't think so?
No. I
No?
think I mean, I think that he probably heard it over the like I said, scanner radio, and then as he's there he hears a helicopter and decides to want to go check it all out, you know, see what's up. You know, that makes sense though, at least to me. Right now, the different visuals of who he saw, that bugs me, you know, because we're not in his brain, you know. Brown car, Jenna, native girl, all of a sudden becomes Emily.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, I think they had a hard time proving, and again, this is just from Daniel or Daniel's family that told me that Jenna Chowdhury had been living in Halifax and didn't actually return to the area until June sometime. So, I mean, they probably had a really hard time. Maybe she does look similar to Emily Oakley. I don't know. I've never seen a picture of Jenna Chowdhury.
Emily, yeah.
Have you seen a picture of Jenna Chowdhury? I've never seen a picture of Jenna.
No. Besides, like in a thumbnail, like brown hair or something. I don't know. Anybody out there know Jenna Chowdhury? What color hair she had? Anyways, again.
They could have been discussing putting an alert out on encrypted channels and hours before they actually put it out public. They might have mentioned it on some encrypted channel, absolutely. It's true enough. But again, I don't know, Sonny. Do you think he'd be charged if he came out and said, "My God, it was a scanner radio. I shouldn't have been
No.
using it. My bad." Do you think they'd
No.
chase him and throw him in jail for that at this point?
No.
Just so that his information would be
No.
less scrutinized. Put it that way.
There's so many people. Doesn't matter what case you're following. There's so many people that listen to the scanner radios that are out there. I don't think that that's their priority to be at all. Of if he heard it on the scanner radio.
Yeah.
You know,
And I've
maybe-
noticed there's a lot of people talking about police corruption and stuff. And I mean, people are on the fence about that. But what I've learned over the last few months talking to different people and their perspectives, what they're calling police corruption is simply lack of investigative motivation. I guess that to me doesn't equal corruption.
Yeah.
But that's just me, and that's neither here nor there as far as Brandon is concerned, in my opinion. So Daleen also says that Brandon has made his statements and he has had threats against him and his family. Please give him the privacy he deserves. In time, there will be answers and more questions, more answers. I believe him. A lot of people do believe him, Daleen, and we're not here to discredit him at all. We're trying to make sense of it. That's all. That's all.
Well, let's just get realistic. When somebody puts themselves out there, and especially if they're coming forward now with posts, it's one of those things. Like, what more do you expect? People want answers to the case, and they honestly don't give a shit who they're going to attack at the end of the day. I mean, it's not my personal way like that of, sitting there, reaching out to people's Facebooks and being like, you fucking liar, or this and that and stuff like that. But I mean, I've got to be realistic here. Daleen's a lawyer, right? But this is YouTube land. That's a whole different ball of wax than what should be done and what will be done, for sure.
I agree with you. I'm going to fast forward to the next slide if you want to keep talking. Ian is now here eating his supper in the background. So,
in this case, universal, I wouldn't 100% believe anybody. Not unless you've done your homework and figured out that it was all truthful.
Yeah. So rather than continuing his fishing plans, he decided to drive through the area to see if he could assist and I think he went home and got some gear. For context, Brandon is not a neighbor, family, friend of either party, a member of Please Bring Me Home, or affiliated with any official search organizations. I don't know if anybody ever questioned that. Do you? I don't.
Well, that was in his whole posting. So I guess he's talking third party here about himself. Because that was like in the posting of the actual post. Don't know. Don't know nothing about Brandon. Like I said.
Sorry, I had to. Harley was finally knocking at the door. Where else? What else? Through his 10-year military service, he participated in numerous searches. He also has assisted the RCMP in the past in 3 other searches for missing persons. So what stood out to him was the condition of the shirt, which same, dude, same. Like it was. To me, it looked clean, but it also looked very sun bleached, like it had been there for a very long time, hidden in the bush. I don't know.
Apparently, that was the design of the shirt.
With the baseballs on it.
You think? Well, apparently, that was the design. Like the sun bleached parts. Apparently, that was the design of that shirt.
And this is a good point, too. Like, it wasn't muddy. It didn't look wet or dirty despite the weather and ground conditions. But the same could be said for that blue blanket, bath mat, and sweater. So, Maybe things just magically stay clean out in the elements in that area. It's all bizarre.
Okay, Jermaine, can I ask you a question? Um, when Art says he couldn't go home first and then get there by 10:40, did he claim that he went home first after being?
No,
I didn't think
no,
so. Okay.
he went out there and he talked to law enforcement, and I believe they.
Then,
Well, let's just keep going. They do get into it here, so we'll just keep going. Like I said, I've got it muted, so.
really? Well, couldn't a family member from the Malay Brooks Murray side tell us if that was actually her shirt, or is it just because they're all part of the big cover up that nobody will? Why is it so hard, right?
Yeah, that's a good question. He also observed Emily Oakley emerge from the wooded area at a rapid pace. Wait a second, we missed one. Go back to here. He also, nope.
Oh, okay, the footprints.
Yeah. I don't know that I ever heard that there were footprints. Did you?
No. I think the fact that maybe he's just making the comment that he didn't observe any tracks there. Like, meaning if he's there for the purpose of the search for Jack and Lily, maybe because of his credentials that he was observant to the area and didn't notice any.
Yeah. She came out of the woods quickly, moved through the ditch, and entered the rear seat of a vehicle. This is where I have questions. And keep in mind, I just watched this not too long ago. I gotta play it because I can't find each slide. Some of them go pretty quickly.
What's the chances that there's going to be two shirts in a tree, and then let's just say the afternoon, someone goes, yeah, you know what? Let's just plant a blanket in the same darn tree as the two shirts.
Yeah, I don't. I'm gonna hold comment on that for now. As he approached, Emily appeared interested in speaking. From the back seat of the car, "Are you a cop?" "No." Okay. He pulled alongside of the vehicle and rolled down his window. The driver was a large tanned man who used his arm to block his face, and the smaller framed man sat face front in the passenger seat, not engaging. So when was he asked if he was a cop, and by who? And
sorry.
the video, this here looks like that happened before he pulled alongside the vehicle, because the girl looked like she was interested in speaking. It's just weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
In this case, there's too much of that already.
But how can you not?
I know, how can you not? That's just it. But it just, for me, like I said, for me at this point, Charmaine, this just becomes gap filler for Jack and Lily, because I'm just at that point where it doesn't matter what anyone says anymore. I don't care if it's Anita Bonita or whatever. It's just a matter of, we all have to wait for time. And in the meantime, all we can do is discuss it and try to make sense of it. That's it, because we know that we only have a quarter of the information that the RCMP and Major Crimes Unit does.
Right. Like, not even a quarter. I don't think.
I mean, bottom line is that if those people were out there, they're going to have the digital data. You think everyone's going to leave their phones at home and not whatever? No. Because the digital, if it's true, it will come out later at some point, right? And the digital data of Brandon, and that the RCMP would know of Emily, of Hayden, You know, that's all would be digital data. Because obviously if Brandon's taken a picture of a shirt or whatever, anyways, it will all come to fruition at some point.
Maybe, hopefully. Emily told Brandon that they are family from Truro and that they were looking for the children.
Gotta off on my vape here.
Does Emily live in Truro? I don't know. We found a t-shirt. Brandon's attention was primarily focused on the man standing nearby. His interaction with the man, who's Alvin McKenzie, was brief. And like I said, maybe he walked on to a situation where Alvin came upon this group of people in the car. He also took note of how both Emily and Alvin were dressed. Emily was wearing jeans, rain shoes, and a tank top with thin shoulder straps. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say to whatchamacallit, power of loveism. The echo is actually coming out of Charmaine's mic. So I'm just gonna I don't hear it when I'm talking, but if you have yours open, usually they'll hear my voice. So I'm just gonna unmute myself when you're talking.
Okay. I guess my new camera purchase didn't fix the problem. My bad. So, Alvin was wearing a t-shirt, jeans, and sneakers. And apparently this is not... The clothing stood out to him because it did not seem consistent with what most searchers were wearing under those conditions. And that very well may be what he was thinking, but at the same time, how often did Emily Oakley or Hayden or anybody else go out into the woods looking for missing children? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that I would continue thinking that was odd. Just in my opinion. It's a kind of a non-issue to me. Or any experienced searcher, woodsman for that matter. Again, you're talking about, I know Hayden had just turned 19 here not too long ago. Emily is right around his same age. These are not experienced outdoorsy people. So anyone present that day knows the weather was damp, cold, and muddy. Again, they're children. So I wouldn't put too much into that. After leaving that area and traveling toward where the helicopter had landed, shortly afterward he observed the wine-colored vehicle turn right onto Stewiacke Road and headed seemingly back towards Truro. Instead of going to, and I remember this from November, the interview in November on the DT show, instead of going to report the t-shirt to law enforcement is what he found odd. And now I'm just adding to this story, but that is indeed what was said in November. So
She has brown hair, by the way. Jenna.
who did?
Jenna, she has brown hair. I believe it wasn't Emily more like blondie brown? For Emily.
And brought to his attention by whom? Because I don't know. So were all these places searched then by law enforcement? Because I was under the understanding that Lairg Road wasn't. So I don't know. Again, just my questions. Doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah.
After orienting himself with the area and speaking with law enforcement, he returned home to collect additional equipment, including a rain gear and his ATV. He then returned and participated in search efforts that ultimately continued for several months, extending into November 2025. His only interest has always remained the same, helping locate the children and assisting in any way possible. In September, Brandon was contacted by Chrissy Travers regarding his search efforts and questioned about his findings. After previously being conned by Brad Turner, Brandon was skeptical about trusting anyone, so he contacted the RCMP to validate Chrissy's credentials. Okay, so about the Brad Turner part of it, how was he conned by Brad Turner? Like, you guys are going to have to explain that one to me, because Brad Turner, from what I can tell, took screenshots of conversations that Brandon was giving his account of what he remembered at that time, which is not the same as what he's remembering now. So how does that equate to being conned? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just have questions.
I don't think so. Like, was there any information about Brandon in the court documents that we saw? I don't think so. You're muted. No.
Well, no. The answer was no.
Now, why wouldn't that have been in there? Unless they're...
I don't know, 'cause there's also the there's certain things that I don't even want to say on here that came out in November, and it doesn't. I don't know.
I just think it just boils down to everyone's just use your own common sense, or, dig for the information, see what you come up with. That's all we ever do, is try to, talk with people. Maybe sometimes the creators have more people to talk to than just the average person that's following the case. But it just really comes down to whatever you believe. Truth will come out at some point for Jack and Lily. So I see it.
Yeah.
This hurts my brain even talking about this.
Yeah, me too.
But yet you want to, because everyone does want to talk about this stuff, so you want to do it, obviously, just try to make sense of it. But at the end of the day, like I said, we don't know the truth worth Adam when it comes to this case. Well, we think we know the answers, but do we? Maybe, maybe it's, much more complicated. Maybe it's not.
But for this, okay, so let's bring it back full circle here. Explain to me how this person who took time out of his own days and personal life to go and search for Jack and Lily, is this information so important that it's going to lead to what happened to Jack and Lily? Like, why is it such a big deal right now?
Well, that's just and it would, to me, this would only equate to that, that they're trying to act like these children were given away or hidden somewhere, that there's massive cover up, and that's just is absurd to me. Because when you think of the end game of this information, if you were to believe it all to be true, and that Mackenzie's side, Martel's side, Malaya's side, it just seems so, honestly, to believe that the end goal of all of this was to give Jack and Lily away to anyone? Or does it more seem factual that 2 people on the property, or 3 perhaps, are hiding the truth? And it just is too much to sit there and believe all this had to transpire. It's just, like I said, Charmaine, can you think of another reason why, say, both families would join up together to protect Daniel and Malaya so that they didn't do prison time type of thing, if that were the case? And in the event that this was all done to hide the children or give the children away somewhere, it doesn't equate to me at all.
In my brain, it's ludicrous. It makes zero sense. What makes sense to me is, Brandon's experiences are his own. His memories are his own, and very well could have happened. And it makes more sense to me that Alvin McKenzie was out there and happened across this car full of people related to Malaya's side of the family out there finding shirts and not reporting it. I'm not saying I don't believe Brandon, but I'm saying some of the details, some of the little details that I think have been convoluted, just in my opinion, are making it easy for people to discredit and to read too much into it. In what world would the Mackenzies be working with Malaya's side of the family to help her hide the children?
Wow.
Or to plant evidence? It just, in what world? To me, and I'll say it, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I think this is...
Not unless there was a cover-up about dead bodies of Jack and Lily. And
both families, though? People
I know,
that
that's
aren't
what
even...
I'm saying. Right? It's like, it's absolutely absurd. And cases are never this absurd. I mean, they're very few and far between. Is this one of those cases? Hey, maybe, possibly, but I'll never forget Lori Vallow case for something that you never ever thought could exist in a case that literally was about zombies and freaking killings and stuff like that. But do I think that this case goes that way? No.
Yeah, but she was clearly a crazy wench, right? She was clearly off her fucking rocker. And say what you want about the Mackenzies and say what you want about the Brooks Murrays, whatever. They're not going to work together. They're not next level insane, because crazy people don't know they're crazy. So they're going to be out there talking about zombie apocalypses and how your kids are dark and they need to... You're not going to be out there talking about these things because you don't know that you're crazy when you're crazy. That's why she was so able to go on and talk about that shit, because for her it was real. These people are not doing that. So to me, if this is true and Brandon saw what he saw, then Alvin was out there wondering what the fuck that car was doing out there, and maybe they had told Alvin Mackenzie, I just found a shirt. We don't know that, and quite frankly neither does Brandon, because he happened upon a situation and he saw what he saw. That's my take. Because right now I'm just more suspicious of Malaya's side than anybody else right at this particular moment.
Suspicious of them all. There's none of them that are like what I do think about is I think about Daniel telling us about what Luke said with the dog Narc about Thursday evening. I believe that they absolutely believe that something happened Thursday. I believe that when the reporter overheard them saying to Janie that they didn't believe her timeline, and then, she's trying to prove her timeline to every which way. I believe that Janie failed the polygraph because she freaking is used to telling the truth, and now she has to lie, and I think that that's why it was inconclusive, because she probably had a heart attack even just having to lie. That's how I see it, like I said. So whether it's 3 people that have knowledge or 5 people, 6, 7, it's unlikely. It's unlikely that everyone's going to shut the fuck up. Honestly, somebody's going to try to claim that reward that has any information or something anyways. So it's just, it's just sad. Out of all of this, it's just sad because it's about Jack and Lily, and that this is the shit that we have to watch in regards to a case. And so, if you have to watch what's going on, regardless if Brandon's being, honest or what his own memory is, it doesn't matter. It's just a fact of when you have to watch this stuff, that the truth isn't being told to you. So it's that simple. The truth is not being told to you from these people, and their actions speak louder, and they just match the rarity of something happening to 2 children. And it's just sad because it's about 2 missing children, and this is the bullshit from both sides, like especially from the Malaya Brooks Murray side.
At this point, yeah. I think the officers handling the case are feeding the circus by not killing any rumors. So many lies flying around. It's disgustingly sad. I couldn't agree more with that. And then, why is this stuff coming out now? It seems suspicious to me. And this isn't directed at Daleen, Chrissy, Shenanigans, anybody. But I question the timing. Maybe it was because Daniel was on channels, whatever, but why did he feel the need to even mention he called her teabagger in here, I think, but you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
It was like
why
an
is-
add-on bonus, eh?
Yeah, so like why now? Like, what is the big deal? Like, Daniel's been answering questions and talking shit for 13 months now. So why now?
Yeah.
Two creators needed content, so this is how it started? Like, who? No, that's not... I don't think that that's accurate if you're talking about the other two channels that we don't talk about here. They just picked up on it recently, and this has been going around since, like, I know beforehand, but at least since November. But before that. But he's out here talking now. A week ago, not even. So why now? You know, it's odd timing.
Yeah. Oh.
The RCMP are aware that certain groups are trying to force them to give information that is critical to the case and cannot be shared. So, Damien, if the RCMP are aware that people are pleading for them to come out and debunk anything that Anita says, why can't they do that? Because that shit is destroying lives in real time. So, not complete bullshit, but I have to throw some bullshit on there. Absolutely not. There's no reason for this. None. You can rule out an abduction, but they're giving validity to Anita's stories, for example. So if it's critical to the case, then they need to tell her to shut up. It's one of the two. Can't have it both ways. It's either false and harmful, or it's true and vital or critical, using your words. So make that make sense.
Angus.
Not wasting my time on BS and fluff. Comes down to what we all thought from the beginning. They just need proof. 13 months, though. 13 months. Yeah. What do they need? Are they waiting for a confession? Like in that article I read, that judge, they wanted to sell that little girl's, or auction that little girl's bicycle because they were pretty sure the stepdad did it, but they couldn't prove it unless he confessed. We want to sell this at a charity auction. Is that what's going on here? Because that's just shitty police work. Sorry, Sunny, go ahead.
No. Someone said you are cutting out, but I don't hear you cutting out myself. I don't think so. Yeah, maybe just reload the page yourself, perhaps. I don't know. You're not cutting out to me. Unless somebody else says it or something.
I don't know. I had to restart my computer right before I started because my speaker's not working. So I've got my stupid little laptop speaker. But
you should play that video I sent you. I thought that was so funny.
You sent me a video?
Yeah. Do you want me to play it? Just for,
yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that.
Okay. 1 second. Share screen. You guys will probably get a kick out of this a little bit. Window. Chrome tab. Instagram. Let's see here. Can you see it? Let me just look. Can you guys see it on main screen? Oh no, because we got it. There it is. Okay. We'll make that bigger. You guys, this is kind of a little bit of comical. It's about Canadian cat named Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton keeps crossing the Canada-US border despite restrictions.
Social media star.
It's a bit mind-blowing. He kind of flaunts his recklessness for the law.
Now, Mr. Vuitton is particularly good at catching all sorts, and he has been known to smuggle the goods across the border and leave them on the doorstep.
I bet he did not declare them.
We're not sure whether U.S. agents have caught up with him for questioning. We do know He had no interest in a TV interview.
Doesn't go through customs. He's got a passport.
This is Zero Avenue in South Surrey, and these picturesque homes sit smack on the border. This side is Canada, across the street, the United States. No fences or concrete blocks, just a little ditch and signs warning, don't even think about crossing.
Oh, it's very secure, yeah.
And people follow the rules except for one resident, him. Unfazed by jurisdictional authority, he is the Canadian border-jumping kitty cat.
Illegal. What?
I think it's because he's got 4 legs, not 2.
Decidedly confident, ignoring the watchful gaze of border agents and that machine in the sky that's as useful as the dog as far as he's concerned. Several times a day, almost every day, he shows little interest in international law and carries on his very important work of mousing.
He's a cool little cat, keeps coming back and forth and says hello to everybody.
His name?
Louis.
Officially Louis Vuitton, like the designer. And his styling cross-border feline feats are now so famous,
I love it.
he's become a local legend and a social media star.
It's a bit mind-blowing. He kind of flaunts his recklessness for the law.
Now, Mr. Vuitton is particularly good at catching all sorts, and he has been known to smuggle the goods across the border and leave them on the doorstep.
I bet he did not declare them.
We're not sure whether U.S. agents have caught up with him for...
When I was playing that, Charmaine, however you want to do this. Remove. Close. Boom. I'm not sure what you want. Are you putting this up next? Something else? But
Sure. Well, there's.
You had a lot of that when I saw it.
Yeah.
It must have been playing though when I where I last left it, so that's why I was repeating kind of. But that was cute anyway.
I just wanted to put this up because there's no mistaking Emily Oakley for Jenna Jowdry.
No, and I mean, but he said native as well, right? So does Emily look native?
Not to my eyes.
Nope.
Not at all.
Because he said, he even used the word pretty native, but there's no mistake in that. And so that's why it's just, right? Like, it's not that maybe, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Just, it's, yeah.
There are a few things, like, I would like to know what you mean by that. Because there's, never mind. And then also, there was an answer to the question I posed about Brad Turner conning Brandon. And I agree that it's a fake account that is well known. It is a fake person, like it's a real person, but whatever. But how does that equate to him being conned? Because it's not. I'm not concerning myself at all with anything Brad Turner said. Like, I wasn't even reading their portion of the conversation. I was looking at what Brandon told this person, thinking that it was a real man or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't equate to conning.
I see Ian in the background there. Is he making you some dinner?
No, he's been sitting there the whole time eating his supper that I made him while doing my live stream.
Can I tell you, my husband made chicken stew. And my husband's like, "Do you want it now?" And I was like, "No, I'll have it later after the live."
Ian makes a killer takeout. I don't want to cook today, so we'll go to Subway or...
Oh, I love Subway. My bad. Love Subway.
He's too busy building a house and stuff. I don't know if I'd eat his cooking anyways. I don't know. I don't know. No offense. Is he still here? He is. See, he's right behind me, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still. I mean, to Pictou County Jail.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think she failed myself because she actually knew the answers, meaning, and I think that she, like I said, I think that she went into hyper freaking anxiety mode and tense mode and ended up failing because, again, I just think that she's, I just kind of feel like that Janie's just a person that just kind of likes to tell it like it is. But in this case, I don't feel like she could tell it like it is if that's the case. I'm just trying to make sense out of Janie's polygraph and truthfuls and passings and the next batch. We don't know. Again, it's just taking the information, just like you guys, you know. I'm just trying to make sense out of it. So where it makes sense.
So did you hear Janie's explanation for that polygraph? Her physiological whatever, it doesn't change whether she's lying or not. So she's not suitable for polygraph testing. And there was an officer who had the same condition. It was related to his heart, and that's why she was suggested to go see a doctor about that. And she still hasn't yet. But it is a thing, whether you believe her or not. It is a thing. So,
I not say there's not. I just again, in my world, the kids had to get off the property at some point somehow. I just kind of follow what the RCMP said to Janie, what the RCMP, according to Daniel, said to him and the dog, and it makes sense that something happened on Thursday night. And everything else was a planning, staging. That's just my own opinion. That's just how I see it. Could be absolutely wrong, but
I'm with you. I mean, I agree for the most part, right? Like, I think most people are on about the same page. It's just maybe a different paragraph. You know, there are certain things that I tend to believe that you don't, and vice versa, right? There are things that you've heard and you know that I just think is complete crap. But at the end of the day, make it make sense, because I do not believe for 1 second that there's any reservation involvement here. I don't believe for 1 second that Malaya shipped her kids away to be hidden away from Daniel. I don't.
No,
he didn't have any legal right to them. Like, none of it makes sense to me.
Well, that's just it. And in these cases, okay, anyone that follows true crime, honestly, knows that is so astronomically low, like such on the bottom of the totem pole, that it's something you look at and then you put it to the side because it's just so ridiculously low that between camera movements and, regardless a long pass, it obviously would have cameras and all that stuff, that to sit there and think that they were hidden and somehow that the RCMP just couldn't figure out where the children were, and all this and that. Nobody claimed a reward. Nah, the most logical thing is that the children are no longer with us. Is the most logical. It's not even myself saying that by itself. It's just go look at the freaking statistics of what happens, and it's going to be typically almost always family involvement. Most times, almost always. No one sits there and goes, with children that young. Just go, like I said, you just have to be following cases and following, interview, search the, EMW, and you just know that what's logical and what's true versus what we're seeing just doesn't add up to truth at all. Actions, like Malaya's, like actions, regardless. Just the whole thing with Malaya too. Like, how many people have said that she acts like she's doesn't even really have 2 children missing? Is that matching the actions that we're seeing? Yeah, actually, it is. So, what does that tell you, right? Someone that claiming they just want their children home 20 times, as chances are, is when somebody's saying that because they're trying to get us to believe that narrative. Yeah, I believe the children are alive out there and blah, 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 blah. That's all I see it as, lip service coming up,
Sorry, I'm trying to get to the bottom of chat without missing any questions or anything.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm missing everything. I'm so sorry. Are you at the bottom?
I am.
Oh, good for you. Brandon's statement have always been given promptly to law enforcement. Yeah, I don't know if anybody is disputing that, but I believe you. So what else, Sonny? The one thing that chapped my khakis here the most recently is the fact that Malaya won't speak. We get that. We understand that. I think for the most part, we've accepted that. She doesn't want to do it. I say all the time, I don't blame her, not one little bit. Looking what Daniel's gone through, Janie's gone through, Jordan, Chance, anybody else, Brandon, anybody else. So Malaya is staying the hell out of the way.
Yeah, but she did that from the start, though.
She did that from the start, but she doesn't mind having her boyfriend put on display on a YouTube channel, her new boyfriend. That is more important than raising awareness for your kids.
I feel like that is more important to her, to be honest.
That's the message, right? And I mean, it's infuriating because you just start to relax on her a little bit and say, okay, I get it. I get it. Lives are being ruined. Maybe she doesn't have the temperament to deal with all the bullshit. But then she puts her new boyfriends out there. What?
Jesse said that was the wrong Emily Ogle.
Jesse said that?
Yeah, Jesse, towards the bottom, Jesse D says Sonny and Charmaine, that wasn't the right Emily Ogle.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
That was just sent to me just now. I had never seen a picture of her before. I never went looking because I didn't care.
Just go see if there's a a Hayden attached to her, maybe. that particular Facebook group or Facebook. I don't know.
I'd like to ask Daniel why he said there was no Tylenol in the house. If he just said it to shut down the questions. The docs say they bought Tylenol for baby M earlier in the week. I think that was Wednesday. And I don't know. The question I had asked him, he said they didn't have any children's melatonin in the house, Tash. Maybe I missed something, but I don't know. Appears there's something wrong with the audio. Go figure.
You know what bugs me a little bit about that is that on the Thursday, which we all know is just like, is that Janie said that she gave the kids snacks and that the kids were outside and then, whatever, came home, bugs, whatever. And then she says that, Daniel was waiting for Daniel to help her with the fence, but then she goes off into dinner. At what time? It says she goes off to dinner and doesn't know, where the kids are at that point. So why was Daniel just fixing the fence by himself at that point? Then, because it's like Daniel saying, well, he was out there till basically it went dark. So, but yet Janie's saying that I'm pretty sure Janie's not. Most people aren't going to be like, well, it's like 8:30, time to go make dinner now. So I just find the whole Thursday thing just, that Daniel doesn't remember if Malaya or the kids were awake or not. At some point he says that Malaya was sleeping, but then, when it comes to Thursday, Charmaine.
Yeah, Wednesday also has me too,
Wednesday?
because we're going to
Patty's
house and then leaving there, and I just recently heard this, leaving there around 7 p.m. and going to Walmart, and they got home around 10. Yeah. And that's just, I don't know, but there seems to be quite a bit of time there, because it doesn't take that long to get home from Walmart. So what exactly, what did you buy in Walmart to be there that long, with children who are supposedly sick, staying home from school, and you've got them out at 10 p.m. at night? What?
Right. Yeah. But like I said, there's just, again, it's just typical in these type of cases too. Brain fog, sleeping, oh, look at that. Horrendous timeline. Yeah, did I step into the twilight zone? That's what this case is like. Absolutely. But the thing is that the truth isn't. And when the truth comes out, you're going to see how much more simple this is. Just like what we talked about, Occam's razor, right? This case reminds me, like I said, a little bit of Barry Morphew. It starts off like this. I saw it for this, and then it branches off into all these strange other things, and then people, right, and then it starts getting into conspiracies or this and that, and it's just like yeah, and when you watch cases, it's virtually doesn't happen like that. But when you've got time to, in a sense, no, I'm not even going to use that word because it's not a good word to use, but when you have time on your hands, we'll say, then people just, fill stuff with everything and anything. And then again, or people come up and start talking more and stuff. And then again, it gets even worse. And then it branches into a full bloom tree there. And yet the answer was truthfully here still. And that's how I feel it. It's just when people don't know answers and want answers, they're going to dissect every single thing out there, and then it's going to get twisted. And then you just go, and then your head explodes. Remember, like Delphi? Then your head just explodes. And that's how I feel about Brandon's information. Like, it's almost like where I reach the point of my head is already sick and tired of the crap of this case that, because Jack and Lily are, but yet, that's why I don't personally entertain a lot of stuff if I don't feel it has any value to Jack and Lily's case. I feel like this is worth looking at, but does it make a difference to me? So there's 3 or 5 or 6 possibly. At least it, I don't know. Just truth is right there. But how do you figure out the truth if you don't even know who's telling the truth?
The truth doesn't change, so it's unfortunate. But again, none of this information. This shows the experience of one person who was searching, possibly came across some items that were turned in as evidence, maybe saw some family doing some shady shit. But at the end of the day, I don't think that we're going to take Brandon's information and eureka figure out what happened to Jack and Lily. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
as much as I would love it, it's just not.
Down the rabbit hole, right? Sammy, hold on a second. Sammy from Miami, eh? You changed your name, I see. It was Sammy A. Miami, yeah. But she's from Ontario. Hey, Sammy. Yeah. My brain just hurt. Like, it does. Probably hurts the most just because it's about 2 children named Jack and Lily.
That's right. And what happened to them, and why can't anybody speak the truth, and why isn't their mother looking for them? That's the question on my mind lately.
The 1-year search, there she was. I'm sorry. Like I said, that just made me personally want to vomit. Upchuck a few cups when I saw that. No, sorry, I'm not buying.
And I mean, if we're being hopeful, we're holding on to hope. We think the kids are what? Nobody on that side is saying publicly that they think somebody hurt the kids or anybody specific hurt the kids. But so then what are you looking in the woods for?
Right.
What are you looking for?
You think that they freaking built a little island or something within there and started making mud pies to eat and something, but yet you're claiming that you believe that they're alive, but you're looking in the woods, or at least you're there for support for the people. Like, come on now.
In the same area that's been searched and searched and searched and searched and searched. So we are all in some sort of Groundhog Day. I'm not going to be put off by all this nonsense. Anyone lying will get their karma and will be exposed. I will save my rage for then, but it's not going away. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Preach it, to be honest, because that's the truth of it.
that's right. I mean, there's only so much. There's nothing any YouTuber can do. All we can do is keep talking about the information that comes out.
Yeah.
You know, keep their names out there, their faces, the tip line out there. Only put in credible, verifiable information, people. Which is another thing that pisses me off. Drone, whatever, Damien. And tell him I said that too.
Who's Damien?
Damien is, he was former Please Bring Me Home. He's local. He's got a drone. He does a lot with search and rescue. He was a moderator for Shenanigans for a long time and kind of got himself mixed up in some of the drama. And
Poor Damien.
absolutely. Nothing but respect for Damien. But if you got it in with the RCMP so that they can tell you they're fully aware of people pressuring them to put out information that's critical to the case, tell them I said give me a motherfucking break. Okay? With the Anita stuff and some of the other stuff that's coming out, give me just a small break. Yeah. They can rule out abduction. They can rule out that somebody was doing something, had somebody on Leo's list, and the bullshit. Give me a break. Now I'm going to get mad. Stop it.
Don't even get me started on the freaking drones over Daniel's house protecting him.
Now protecting him, okay, I think that's a little bit odd, I will say. However, I have seen videos of the drones above his house and as well as above Jordan's house. So I mean, it's a real thing, but why are they there?
For real.
I don't know.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah. And right. And I don't get me wrong. I absolutely feel like they're not watching Daniel to protect him. You'd have to be a fool to think that, to be honest with you. Like, no one's going to sit there and go, you know what, Daniel, you were special. We're going to use some resources just to protect you. I mean, and yeah, okay, I threw it into AI and it pretty much laughed back at me as well, you know, when I put that in there. Because they're not going to waste money. Like, for the fact of finding answers for Jack and Lily, sure. Do a lot of people have drones out there? For sure, right? I mean, they're just getting more and more and more. You know, I probably agree with Daniel at some points. There's freaking like lights in the sky there, but are they literally just sitting there going, you know what? Daniel's going to go take a, freaking for a walk. Let's, throw out the drone again up there and, watch it. But I think it's when he said, sorry, Sherman, but I think it was when he said that the helicopters, that whenever he goes into a place with no service, that they have helicopters to come find him.
Did he say that on my stream or on your stream? Because 9.5 hours, man, I cannot get through your entire stream, but my stream, I missed it.
I mean, a 2-hour bath every day, you can do it. Even I couldn't remember most of my own stream. I just remember him saying that. And you guys tell me was it mine or Charmaine's stream? I just remember, I think it was yours actually. Yeah. And I just was like, dude, ain't new. I think Justin played it on his. Actually, yeah, Justin played it on his. So I'm taking that it was either from mine or your live.
It has to be yours, man, because I don't think I would have missed that.
It in.
And my chatters never would have let that go. Never. And I don't remember seeing anything on it. I don't know.
When Justin played that yesterday, I was like, you have to be kidding me. Whoops. Oh, Rhonda's in the house. One sec. She says, love you.
Super chat. 10 Canadian dollars. You're awesome. Thank you. Love you, Sunny and Charmaine. Praying answers come soon for Jack and Lily.
Yeah.
Folded hands emoji. Folded hands emoji.
Okay. Thank you, Rhonda. Rhonda, her husband's having a lot of health issues going on, so she doesn't necessarily keep up as much as she was doing before, but she's a regular. So I just want to say prayers to you and your husband on there. So thank you. But yeah, Charmaine. When he said that, I was just like, you got to be freaking kidding me. So they're sending helicopters for you when you enter a no service zone. got to be a hell of a lot of
Yeah.
money. But like,
But
like, come on, that's where you go. Are you on a different flight pattern than I am in the brain? I don't know, because it's just, it's
I feel like there's this thing that I can never get out of my head that I'm sure the RCMP have thought of, and maybe a lot of other people, and we just don't say it, but 13 months is like a hell of a long time for, if it's, family involvement, whatever, is well enough time to retrace your steps and make sure there's not a shred of evidence left. So, is that for me? Damien, did you just become a member on my channel, or is that Sunny's? Thank you. You can join the good times. We don't talk about serious stuff during my members only. But you know what I mean? Like, if it's 13 months, even 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, whatever, that is a lot of days that people can go back, retrace their steps, and get, make sure everything is cleaned up, make sure there's nothing there to be found, because still, and granted, we don't know what the RCMP knows. We all know that now. But nothing in 13 months. We got a blanket, possible boot print, maybe Brandon's stuff that he says was turned in. That's it. And I'm sure they're not going to release any of the digital data, the forensics, nothing like that. I get it. And maybe they have more, but nothing's been found in the woods.
Nothing.
And I wonder why. Because even if they are in the woods,
they didn't make it there.
I think it's been cleaned up.
Right. Absolutely. Right. I still think, regardless, because you have a comment here by this Stella person. Hi, Stella. And my information, there might be a huge surprise when the truth comes out about who really is responsible for the distance of the children. And that's just it, right? We all have our own thoughts about this case, or who's responsible and stuff like that. And like I said, I have my opinion just like everybody else. You guys have your own opinions. And, at the end of the day, everyone's entitled to their opinions. I don't, and Charmaine too, right? We don't believe in blocking people and stuff just because they have a difference of opinion, because you want people to have differences of opinions. You want to look the different ways, perhaps. But at the end of the day, still, the truth will come out when it comes out, when it's ready to come out. In the meantime, I'm just really disgusted about how this case has gone, and what we've watched. And it's just mind-blowing, because at the root of all this is 2 children. And what more precious things than 2 children? It's internally, Charmaine, I'm mad about both sides of the families, about how this case has been, treated for 2 missing children. Just the ridiculousness of it. It just...
Yeah, you've got the 2 extremes, right? You've got crickets on the mother's side.
Yeah.
And, shit stirs speaking for her. And then you've got the other side doing what they're doing. And
exactly.
Jack and Lily are literally lost in all of the nonsense. And it keeps on coming.
Yep.
Because the RCMP won't clear any of the shit up and give us a direction to go for the verifiable, factual information. Help us help you.
Oh, hold on a second. Oh, no, I think, okay. My bad. We both see the same things, that's all. Let me just do this quickly. Colleen, thank you for the super chat. JJ, that's Charmaine's. Thanks for the super chat for her. Jam to the jam. Charmaine, that should be used on that one. Little Black Bear, I believe that's for you. Pinky is a member for 2 months. I honestly, I can't tell the difference. Who's who here? Gifted, Little Black Bear gifted. A Crime and Shame membership. Thank you, Little Black Bear. Sorry I didn't see that before. Sister Nanny, I think that's yours, Charmaine. We are all listening to the scanner that morning for the kayaker. Rhonda, that's you. Thank you for that. And then the drone grid, I guess Damien is yours over there. So I just wanted to say thank you to you guys for the support. You know, don't sit there and ask for it, but we appreciate it for sure. You know, just following the case of two sad children. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, this one I get this all the time, and I just like to repeat what he said because I know what everybody thinks, and I know where everybody was like, oh my God, why did he say that? How did he say that? How would he know? Blah, blah, blah. I get that. But his answer surprised me because it didn't even occur to me that he felt that way. But he said that the cadaver dogs would not find anything in the woods because the children are not dead. That's what he said. He said it on my live stream. He said it to me on the phone. He said it to me in messages numerous times. He says because the children are not dead, and that is why he knows that they're not going to find anything in the woods. Absolutely, Shannon, the only victims are Jack and Lily. That is the only people that we need to be concerned with, in my opinion.
Yeah, but his theory that he came out with on your channel was just absurd in itself as well.
That has been something that has been circulating for a long time in certain circles, and it's all revolving around child trafficking. Yeah. And I'm not making excuses for him whatsoever, but when you first jump on some kind of wagon or something that's got very little basis in fact, it sounds outlandish because it fucking is outlandish, you know, and I think it was something that's been told to him in different ways from different people for months to suspect this Eli Wojciech person.
Yep.
And the circles, you know what I mean?
But
so I know it sounds ludicrous because it is ludicrous.
But his Uncle Alvin was, you know, admitted to being there that morning and would have saw Emily, so that doesn't make sense because everything would have been tossed Malaya's way, really. So Uncle Alvin and Malaya's side of the family being there doesn't equate to trafficking all of a sudden. That's, you know, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
absolutely.
You know, or
but in the absence of any evidence or any other information, like just, and I know it's difficult. I get it's difficult, but just step aside for 1 second and try to imagine a world where Daniel didn't do this. Okay. Mm-hmm. What are the answers that are left? What are the possibilities that are left that we've heard about? Abduction, child trafficking, same thing. Abduction by a family friend to hide them from whatever. Malaya sent them away so that they wouldn't be taken by CPS. Somebody took them to get them away and something went wrong and the children passed away. Those are the things that we're left with. So, I mean, pick your crazy because there's a fucking bucket of it here. And I know, of course they're facts. Of course they're facts, but they're not even 1% of the entire case file. Expose them all. Not even 1%. Mm-hmm. And they're heavily redacted, even with the lifted redactments. So
it still comes down though to logic and the actual factual information about children missing and who's responsible. So you need those, like you said, I mean, I've looked at it, tried to look at it many times with Daniel myself, you know, take him out of the equation, you know, to look at it from Malay's side, and it always comes back to the same thing, is that there's nothing logical about hiding these children, that Malaya would have any purpose herself of doing all this. There's no sense to make sense out of that at all, you know. I mean,
Sunny, can you shoot Bossman a message there and ask if those drones blink red and blue?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, give me a second. Let me see if he's
around. They'd be above his house too, right?
Right, absolutely. Let me ask him about that. Hey, good question. Never thought to ask him about that, Charmaine. Okay, I'll be right back. Let me just see if he's around.
Yeah, I know he was in here earlier. Child trafficking BS came from Anita. Actually, fishing in a boat, that came out a lot, a long time ago, and I didn't even want to touch it because the thought of it, and people, don't take this the wrong way, but people were hopeful that they had been taken and trafficked, and I'm like, in what reality is that a positive outcome? Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even want to touch the possibility. So it was long before Anita came out publicly with her stuff. What names, Gren? There are so many that you don't want to say 3 times in a row. JJ, thank you so much for that. Jack and Lily are thought of every day. Yes. Yes, and we talked about mental health. We need to take care of ourselves as well. If we're going to do anybody any good, we have to be good for ourselves too, right? So did Bossman say something in here? I didn't see. My chat is kind of messed up, guys. It keeps freezing and then it loads like 50 messages, so I apologize. I'm missing lots.
I don't see him saying anything, but he is typing back to me right now. So we'll see. See what he says.
Artemisia, I'm sorry, said thank you, boss man.
Did he say something?
I don't know. Like, it keeps, my chat keeps freezing and then loading. I don't know.
I don't see him say anything, but
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I saw him earlier. But
Yeah, he was definitely here earlier. I haven't seen him since, though.
no, I haven't seen a comment myself. Does anyone see a comment from Bossman1234 or 11234? I don't see him in this one, so he's got to be. Oh, maybe he said it in mine, but wouldn't we see it? When we would see it both, right? If you did.
We would both see it. I just happened to glance into Facebook Messenger, and apparently somebody is live and he's been muted the entire time. That's amazing. Mosquito. I love that.
He's been muted where?
For the entire time he's been live. I'm not going to mention any names, but it's pretty funny.
Oh.
Yeah. What else? If you see a drone flashing red and blue simultaneous in a strobe-like pattern, it is likely a police or LE drone. These indicate active emergency or surveillance operations similar to police cruiser. Julie, that's what Daniel thinks, that there are CMP drones. He believes that they're there for his protection, and has also said to me that he knows they're there watching him, but he believes it's to protect him. Oh, thanking him in advance? Okay. Thank you for that. Michelle, none of that. We just take people at face value, take the information that they want to give, their answers as they are on the face, and we will dissect. Okay. From the dispatch audio, the chopper story doesn't add up. Okay. Chopper request was 11:04, I believe. Trip to Shuby to refuel. Interesting. Travel time from the other incident was over an hour. Recalling assets from the woods. Debrief 2 hours at least until on scene. $11:04. Request to divert, not on scene before 10:30. Good to know. This one, Gerlach Lake wasn't searched according to the documents at time of printing. Has it been searched? Now, though. Terrible. Terrible to think if it wasn't searched. And how far away is it? Troubling.
Still waiting. I just see bubbles.
Doesn't he use voice message? Like voice notes?
Sometimes he does.
Tell him to get up here so he can just answer the question. He doesn't have to stay long. But
Thanks, Mickey Mac.
Z28 Super Chat. 10 Canadian dollars. You're awesome. Thank you.
Oh,
It's really great to see you both on this subject. Justice of Jack and Lily. God love them.
this one should be yours. Thank you, Mick Mac. Always nice to see you. I think this one's yours, Charmaine. Pinky. Yeah.
sorry, Pinky. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you. I'm sorry, you guys. Like, I'm not seeing any of this.
No?
Michelle, he would still be able to see them. He would still be able to see drones flying down above Daniel's place. He would. But yes, thank you so much, Pinky. I just my chat will freeze and then it loads a bunch of messages. So
One sec, Charmaine.
okay, sorry. Are you getting a message or? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, so I'll put out a little bit of what he said. First of all, I think his first statement is Daniel needs to lay off the fucking mouth. That he's not innocent. And then he says something about, but at some point in time, he's seen drones. In some points, yes, but not 40 or 50. I think as Daniel stated. So far, I mean, I asked him another question again, but it's kind of like, yeah, has there been drones? Sometimes, but I don't think what Daniel's claiming. Sometimes he's just waiting for the next one to come in. Anyways, yeah. He says, but at some point in time, I've seen a drone. Yes. They do flash red and green, I believe. I've seen some in the daytime, but do not believe that they were cop drones.
Okay, and that's fine, but really, so if private citizens or whatever, or YouTubers or whatever, they're flying their drones over just watching what's happening, why does no footage ever make it to the internet ever? Tint, I think, is the only one.
Yeah, Tint, Tint has always been very gracious to, share his footage and stuff like that. But yeah, like, meaning, how hard is it to take a picture to prove it all? Like, it's not. Right? I mean, everyone lives with their freaking phone in their hand pretty much. And if you see all that, then it would be easy for Daniel to clarify that himself, just to like show, obviously you can show the timestamp and stuff like that, to show all these drones and stuff. I believe, kind of like what Brad's saying here, that definitely at some point there was a shitload of drones. I think some of them, were police, and others were just regular people that had their drones. And especially, you know what I mean? Especially near the start of the case. But the way he makes it sound is that there's still a bunch of them, and I just don't see that. Over a year later, that people just spend their lives now, coming up to after the 13th month, that they're all just, let's go over Daniel's house today. But if he wants to believe that they're all police drones, and so be it.
Yeah, and like I have no idea if they're still there or not. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
When he was asked that on, I think yours, he was basically saying that, yeah, like there's, because or maybe mine, because I asked him, like, are, like, you still seeing, all these drones type of thing? And his answer was yes. Like, maybe not as many, but his answer was still yes, that they're always there, like a bunch of them still. And I'm like, really? Who? It's not going to be the police. The police aren't going to sit up there with freaking 10 drones in the air watching you. But do I see the odd person? A few people still putting up drones to go check over the land of Daniel and stuff? Sure. Probably looking over at Brad's property, Earl's property, everybody's property in there.
So for drones in Nova Scotia, though, don't you have to be a licensed drone operator to do that? And at some point, would it not be considered violation of somebody's privacy? You know what I mean? If it's not the RCMP?
Well,
I don't know, but
let me pull AI into this and ask them. Okay, is it illegal? I'll just say for a regular citizen. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see what AI says. Searching the web. In Canada, the airspace itself is regulated federally by Transport Canada, meaning a regular citizen is generally legally permitted to fly a drone through the airspace above private property, provided they strictly follow the Canadian Aviation CAR regulations. There is no blanket federal law that completely bans a drone from passing over private land. However, flight can easily become illegal if it violates specific aviation. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I guess there's that, and then it lists on like the proximity of the weight of the drone, proximity and stuff like that. It says drones must be flown below 400 feet, which is 122 meters in the air. Drones cannot be flown within 5.6 kilometers of an airport. So, I mean, the answer is yes. Regular people can, fly drones as long as they're following the rules and regulations of Canada transport.
yes, Sunny does like her AI.
I do.
We are not the same, but I appreciate that, Sunny. Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
it's one of those things. Like I said to Sherman, I mean, I love this world of AI technology. Hey, tell me what the best recipe is to build, blah, 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 blah. But I just like the fact that, like me and Tremaine both like to use our own heads to think. But I also do like to talk to my best friend AI lately a lot, just to plunk in, plausibilities, things. It's no different for me if I'm even listening to card readers or something like that. Is there something that's going to make me think about something else to do with this case that I haven't thought of, and then try to put it into perspective? So, I mean, obviously there's things that you don't know or think of and stuff like that. In this case, I didn't know shit about drones, but now I know a little bit more. Thanks, Jermaine. Thanks, AI. So it's like, yeah, I mean, my own brain has already put itself out of commission for this case, really, just for anything that I've plausibly thought about. So yeah. So now I just, I'll input, say Brandon's post and say, make sense out of, like, what does this mean? What would this post? Where's the inconsistencies? Blah, blah, blah. And I'll just plunk in like all the things that he has said, and then ask AI to look at it and tell me what it thinks, basically. No,
I mean, a lot of people do that, and I have a very good use for AI as well. I just sent it to your messenger. I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but my sound doesn't work when I play shit. So before we go today, I would like you to pull that up so everybody can see what I think AI is best used for, just in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
are there things from AI that are wrong? I think AI is smarter than most people. like when it comes to the information that's gathered throughout the entire internet. So yeah, does it flaw a bit? But if you know the case, you know where the flaws are as well, and then you can correct the AI. And
Well,
stuff
as long as you're correcting it, though, but a lot of people don't know how, and they just click off or they
Well-
share it because it's so outlandish, and then it's it's getting shared, it's getting traction, it's getting in the algorithm, and that takes over the actual Google searches. That information. I mean, it's in this particular case, I've seen it happen, and it's a fucking menace.
Oh,
Sorry.
You want to play the dog clip?
That's what AI should be used for until they get their shit together. That's what I think.
Agree to disagree.
But I mean, the way you do it is okay, but as long as you don't take that as gospel, you know what I mean?
don't. Right?
You still have your smart brain.
Some people might take it as gospel. I certainly don't. I just look for, again, things that I've thought about or information and just ask it. Like I said, I mean, I'd be a fool if I sat there and believed everything that came out of AI. I've corrected AI and been like, hey, that wasn't the first time that about Malaya. And then it said, you're right. That was the article that came out where it said that on the 4th, where it said that she had left the property. But we all know she left the property the day after. And then it will tell me, yes, you are correct. The reason why I said this, because again, follow the case. Anyways. Each to their own. As long as, like I said, common sense overrules anything when it comes to this case or any case for that matter. Okay, let me just.
And I know that one day I'm going to have to warm up to AI, but as it is, I found my use for it, and that's where I stay.
Let me just.
And maybe that's why I can't get my brain out of this where it is right now with this case, is because I'm not allowing AI to lead me elsewhere. Maybe it would be a good thing. I don't know.
I wanted to give me other options I might not have thought about. So if it's saying about something, then I just want to, like I said, okay, well, never really thought about that. But yet knowing full well, like I said, we try to look at all the situations. Anyways, I love the AI. No take backs on that. But I'm also very realistic. Like I didn't fall off some sort of turnip truck. Charmaine's going to warm up to it. She's going to warm up to it. Yeah. Okay.
And I have been. I swore off AI just a few months ago, and then I found this fucking app. It's the greatest thing on the planet. It's the greatest thing in the world. Everybody should do it. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Insane. Okay. This is what you want me to play. Okay. Yeah. One sec. It doesn't have copyright music, does it?
I don't think so. It's on TikTok. Is that copyright music?
I mean, it still could be just because it's off TikTok. Yeah.
It's only like 15 seconds, though. Does that matter?
Okay. Usually for 5 or about 7-8 seconds, you can get away with copyright music. But anyway.
Okay, well, you can stop it after a few seconds. They'll get the gist. Tell me that's not the greatest thing in the world. I'm going to have nightmares. What? What, are you kidding me?
Oh my God, that's funny. I love things like that. Just like when they did Trump and Elon Musk and they put that one into the AI. I still love watching that one whenever I come across it.
Yeah.
Right. But it's just obviously, I mean, I had a golden retriever back in 2000 and 12 was when it is my golden retriever was killed. But I mean, dogs are so amazing. They're so awesome. But yeah, that we can actually watch stuff like this now. The only thing is, I'll have to say with AI, is that as much as I think that it's kind of like the internet, right? It's meant for good use, but so many people use it for bad use as well. But it's one of those things that you don't even know sometimes if you're watching an AI video because it's getting to the point of ridiculous. Like, when you're like, everything you have to question now when you're watching a video, like the ones, like say a person's driving, you know, and then a bear comes right up to the door of the thing and whatever, and you have to wonder, is that AI? Or because we know that that can happen, but you have to keep wondering, was that just an AI video? You know,
Yeah, there are two that right now, like real time, I am questioning if it's AI or not. It's two products. One is a dog groomer. It's this brush and it looks just amazing and it just takes the undercoat off. It's beautiful. And the other one is this attachment for your hose and it's about this long. But apparently it's got some like pressurized mechanism in it so you can turn your garden hose into a pressure washer without having to lug around a pressure washer.
Right,
But I'm
right.
watching it and I'm like, okay, wait.
Yeah.
That's getting like real clean, like real far. You know what I mean? Like I'm questioning it as we speak.
Yeah.
Like considering buying both items and just not sure.
Yeah, just imagine. And this is only the start. I mean, like, I still haven't reverted to AI thumbnails, you know, because, well, I mean, not that they're not cool, but I don't like it when it distorts faces improperly and it makes them look different, but yet, you know, but I know
Agreed.
people, you know, I'm still doing it the regular way. You know, I might use AI to say like, you know, make me this for my thumbnail, like meaning on top of the thumbnail, but not like it's the whole thumbnail, but like make the wording look 3D or something like that. But
I did that, yeah, on a couple of them when I wanted to do like a rabbit hole. I didn't know how to do that, so I told the AI to do it.
yeah, you know, but I mean, like I said, we're only in the beginning of this crap and stuff like that. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know what YouTube obviously, you know, is going to have to, I mean, I know that they've taken charge a little bit of stuff with AI, you know, but people can just pretty much build a channel, get it to create a video, take other people's content, put it together. You know, it's just kind of ridiculous, but whatever.
Agreed.
You know,
Sarah's
but
got
anyway.
a good point. Your pause game is on point. Good job. Good pause. And you have to message me so I can make sure it's the same grooming tool because I will buy it, but too good to be true.
No,
Okay, I think I'm going to go.
We're gonna get going. To be honest, Debbie. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's 8 o'clock. I have to work tomorrow, and my husband made some beautiful chicken stew, and we've been on this live for 2 hours and 32 minutes. So, got time to go. I got stuff to do. You know.
Yeah, me too. I'm exhausted. I've been not doing well all week, so I just want to go back to my little corner and
It's all
enjoy
Yeah.
the darkness. I don't know.
Oh, nice doing a live together with you. Nice to see you guys, and obviously prayers always too. Oh, we have to obviously put this on stage.
Yes.
To Jack and Lily, and
Absolutely. Always, always, first and foremost, keep Jack and Lily's names out there, their faces out there, and thanks, Sunny, for being here, and I will talk to you soon. And unless there's anything else, I'll go ahead and end it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bev, I wish Bev was freaking here covering this case again. She was such a, so smart and so knowledgeable, and she kept so much and all in her documents and stuff like that. And, just a great lady, Anyway.
Her job is the reason why she had to step away?
Well, she went to offered a new job, so then she had to learn and stuff. So I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. What type of time she does or doesn't have. Obviously, I think if she had the time, she'd probably be covering it more and stuff. But back then, I think she had the ability to do it more. Who knows? Don't know over the actual, but that's what I recall. Anyways.
She probably sees the replays, so
Yeah. but
Okay.
just very intellectual. But anyways, you guys have a great night. Thanks, Charmaine. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, Sunny.
All
And
right,
just
bye, guys.
FYI for everybody, I have gone ahead and updated my outro. So everybody that complains to me after the fact, you're
Why-
welcome.
What complaint did you have?
Just some of the people that I was promoting in my intro were not returning the favor for me. So fair enough, fair enough. Point taken. Job is done.
Gotcha.
We will see everybody ASAP. Jack and Lily, guys.
Aye, aye.
See you later.
Have a good night.